Let's imagine you're in the writer's room of Futurama and you're kind of throwing ideas out there.
Jesus.
Um,
Yeah, that's how this starts.
no, like it's just one of those things where it's a bit like, if you threw out the idea, hey, what if Bender joins the robot mafia? Like, you would expect, like, they're gonna, like, kind of, like, it's gonna be one of your last days in the office, but they're like, it's a pretty funny idea. Like, because it is a pretty funny, silly idea, but that's the thing. When you're doing a science fiction show with, like, ravenous internet fans, you wonder if you can get away with something like this. But obviously they did, and it got to the point where they do Zoidberg Goes to Hollywood. So, like, I mean, that's a fun episode too, but, like, it's just one of these things where... You know, I've seen season 2 praised online. I think in some part, I mean, there's no definitive opinion on what the best season of Futurama is. Maybe season 3 and 4, just because it's got like Frierish and Jurassic Park, which are possibly the two most popularly beloved episodes of the show.
And more consistency as well.
Well, I certainly think those are my two favourite seasons personally. As 4 I really love in particular. The Sting and Devil's Hands and Where No Fan Has Gone Before and what's the other one I really love in there? This I said the Wire Fry. Okay, season 4. Anyway, I'm going on.
But yeah, this episode, I reckon, it falls into the same category as the last one, the Deep South, but
yes,
just a little less inventive, because it's similar to with just the sort of sitcom nature of it. Like does it introduce the Donbot? Sure.
Yeah, this is the first one. Though.
That's a great character.
Clamps, gotta love Clamps.
Yeah, Clamps is pretty good. And it just Bender as the whole set piece at the end. That's sort of the culmination of the episode makes it worth it. I've always loved that little ending set piece. A lot of the rest of the episode does sort of neander a bit, and there are good bits here and there. But you know, when Leela's blinded, Fry's just an idiot, and Bender's playing two sides and trying to, you know, sort of stop the robot mafia from realizing he's part of the crew at the same time as trying to stop Fry the idiot and Leela the blind woman from figuring it out as well. It's just a really neat sort of setup. Yeah.
I like the Tiny Tim appearance.
Oh, yeah, that's classic too.
And I also love how this moment demonstrates, whether the writers are very deliberated about this or not, a rare moment of Fry's intelligence showing. It's like very smart, a little piece of ad hoc engineering.
Oh, well, he probably saw it in a movie or something. Well, that's how he knows how to do
it. I mean, that's however he sources it, it's impressive. Yeah, I was going to say about like the season 2 episodes and why season 2 episodes seem to be... If people seem to like season 2 as their favourite season, I suspect it's because they're more TV fans in general than Futurama fans. Because if you're a Futurama or science fiction fan, you want the season 3, season 4 sci-fi concept heavy episodes. But if you're just like a person who likes sitcoms and The Simpsons and Bob's Burgers and home movies and blah... I like some of these shows, don't get me wrong. Actually, all the shows I mentioned I like, to be fair. Then like you want these wacky character episodes, which even though a show like Rick and Morty introduces concepts and sometimes relatively pop cleverly, if you know what I mean, like kind of pop in a pop fun, mildly fun pop cerebral way.
Oh, right at the start.
At the first 2 seasons, not when you get into episodes about toilets and the bodily fluids of horses. Like I don't even know what the fuck that was all about.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I didn't put that on the television. That's all I know. Neither did you, to be fair.
I've probably seen it as well.
No, you were there.
Those episodes are like wiped from my memory. I remember people tried on the internet to like start a whole like hating on Rick and Morty thing, but even it had become so unpopular that not even that took off. People were so bored, you know.
Because the first 2 seasons, I remember when there was just 3 episodes out of that show. And so like that's where I'm coming from. Like I remember when it was like pretty good.
Oh, Pickle Rick and Szechuan Sauce ruined that show.
Sure, yeah. See, I never even watched much of that season because I was just like everyone hated it. So I was just like, I can't really. I got better. I have better things to do.
Yeah,
I have better things to do. And even if it's just watching better shows, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, season 2 Futurama, Rick and Morty early on, similar shows. Yeah, that's true.
It's just like, well, Rick and Morty might have had a little more in the concept department sometimes.
Yeah, obviously inspired by later Futurama.
Yeah.
It would, yeah, that show would have a few episodes of that, but even early on, mostly it'd just be... Like one of the characters, the Summer went to, like, got a job with the devil, you know?
Yeah,
That's straight out of Futurama Season 2, right?
Yeah.
Or even, like, Jurassic Park parody, Futurama Season 2.
They go to, like, some, they go to some other, like, kind of more fanciful, like kind of picture book dimension, and it just culminates in like, you know, kind of these brutal jokes and kind of like violent happenings. Like it's not really, I'm not condemning that, but it's not really a science fiction concept. It's more just like dark fantasy. Like, I mean, I guess they can do it there if they want to. My point is, it's like it's quite obvious that I think there's an appeal for like sitcom generalities within the kind of elastic formula of some of these shows, rather than a kind of a comedic science fiction formula. Because I think, I mean, what I love about Red Dwarf is that I don't know if it's because Red Dwarf was in live action and they had this budget they wanted to put to use, but like there is an effort to kind of build a science fiction world in Red Dwarf, and it's going to inevitably involve the characters because there's so few of them, and it's kind of fluid that way. But also, I think they did just genuinely like the science fiction fun of the production, and so, you know, whereas with Futurama, they become so attached to the characters that there's this temptation to just do random stories about, oh, Leela meets this guy, or, you know, Zoidberg wants to be an entertainer, what's Hermes up to? Whereas, like, you can't really do that in Red Dwarf because they're marooned in space. Like, it can't not be a science fiction concept.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Whereas, like, the season 2 of Futurama, I think I went a bit overboard. Mind you, I did mention a couple episodes. Season 3 is guilty of this occasionally.
I don't know, Star Trek found a way. They just invented a holodeck. Does Red Dwarf have, like, a holodeck at any point?
Oh, vaguely.
Does Star Trek...
There's the Better Than Life episode, which is genius, actually.
Okay. I've probably seen that
really
one.
good.
Does Star
of
Trek
course we
Voyager
remember
have, like, holodeck episodes?
Well, somewhat. I know
Imagine
the
that.
Doctor... Well, the Doctor's a prominent character. Well, that's a bit different. Well, Red Dwarf also had the genius Back to Reality episode. They did virtual reality twice. Well, that was the holographic squid.
Which Rick and Morty probably ripped off at some point.
It's easy to rip it off even if you haven't seen it, though. You know what I mean? It's such a Matrixy idea.
That's true.
Total Recall. It's
It was probably done a million times.
Eternal Sunshine. You know, whatever you want to
name.
Sure.
But
But yeah, like, I think...
Even The Sting, Futurama.
There you go. But yeah, so, like, Bender Gets Made is in that class of episodes which are just kind of this silly sitcom premise first, and like, hey, we can have it's not like we have a science fiction sitcom to explore concepts, it's more we can use the science fiction sitcom to be silly. And again, the episode's really funny and effective within its parameters. Like, it doesn't have like no rules like some of the, you know, more kind of edgier, its contemporaries, more popular shows, unfortunately, like Family Guy and South Park. I haven't not that much against South Park at this time, but like, it is what it is, right?
And the Forgotten shows too, like Drawn Together.
Oh, Drawn Together, Christ.
The early 2000s was a weird time for adult cartoons.
Yeah.
Futurama kept the ground pretty well.
King of the Hill's pretty good too.
Yeah, that maintains a certain level of quality, but yeah, Futurama's like the gold standard for that.
It's my favourite show in the English language, almost. I mean, I really like the old Doctor Who and Red Dwarf. Like, some of the UK shows are really, really good. But certainly when it comes to America, I mean, you really can't go wrong with Futurama. I certainly think it's the king of all these post-Simpsons animated shows. Like, nothing... I mean, just because it was from The Simpsons. It was just... It was an improved Simpsons.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
I feel.
Yeah. None of them come to mind as surpassing Futurama.
No, not even close. Like, Archer got nauseating after a while.
Oh, it didn't take long.
No.
2 episodes.
Yeah?
Yeah, but then you put up with it and the nauseating part of it becomes part of the show, which you enjoy, but then it goes like too far later on.
Yeah, it becomes really proud of itself in a way that is insufferable.
That formula could only last so long before becoming insufferable.
He ought to have been a velociraptor. It could have fixed a lot of the problems.
Yeah, it would have made the meta shit better too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's the Clamps for you.
Yeah, I was really happy that Clamps got his own episode in the newer seasons in Silence of the Clamps.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that. Clamps is okay as like a big character, but I never liked Clamps that much. He just says the word Clamps too many times.
I think it's because he's only in that episode is why I like him.
Okay, yeah.
He was never really in any other episodes.
I can't really remember that episode, to be fair, though. I guess I'll have to rewatch it.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll get to the new seasons.
I thought we were only going to do the first 4.
Oh, we'll see what happens. Probably, but yeah.
Yeah. I might discuss the season 5 as like individual films if I ever feel like going there. But,
oh yeah, that could be good.
Unless you wanted to do those, but I like them enough that I would want to acknowledge them at some point, maybe.
Yeah, you should make those. Those would be cool.
Yeah, they're good. Like, to me, as much as season 6 and 7 kind of didn't
Especially
capture
like
the
for
tone.
they were non-theatrical, right?
No, non-theatrical.
Yeah, for non-theatrical movies, they're really good.
Here's the thing, like, they captured... The tone's not lost whatsoever in those four. Whereas I think it did get lost in 6 and 7. And actually, here's something we haven't mentioned, because this occurred during the absence of the Futurama retrospectives, or the recording of them, at least. There was a few that were uploaded semi-recently, but the recordings were older. The newer season 8 of Futurama, which the first half of has aired, and at least my perception of it has been really quite positive.
Yeah, it's good.
Far and away the best Christmas episode they ever did. Like, literally arguably one of the better episodes since season 6 onward was that time travel Christmas episode they did.
Yeah,
and then there was like the last episode they did was really good with about the simulation. And then there was that episode. There was a few. There was one. I have to go and double check, but there was a few that really.
Even the weakest, probably the weakest episode in it, I enjoyed because it hit me on a personal level. The like Amazon delivery one where the dome like eventually expands to.
That was a good episode.
Yeah, that I was like, some of it was like the jokes didn't hit properly, but that's why I say it might be the weakest. But the concept and the execution of it was very like close to me. I was like, yeah, no, this is very topical and relevant in a sort of funny way. I could see how that would date the episode though, but upon watching it on premiere, I thought that was neat.
I really this Nibbler episode with the parasites, that was quite good.
Yeah.
The vaccine episode was very good.
Probably the weakest episode is the first one, actually. Even though that is pretty good, it is just a.
The streaming one.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the description.
At the very least, it was the weakest concept.
Yeah. Well, in any case, that's 10 minutes on Bender Gets Made. 12 minutes, excuse me, I suppose. Unless we've got anything else to share about this, I think relatively solid episode, to be fair.
Yeah.
It was like a better version of Raging Bender in a way, just because it's the same kind of Bender episode, but I probably get more entertainment minute for minute out of Bender Gets Made.
Yeah, definitely. It's got funnier characters and a funnier premise.
But there's good visual variety in Raging Bender, but I don't know, it's just the one premise. Whereas at least, I don't think there's much... I mean, I was going to say this, no, the subplot in Raging Bender is the kind of the Leela and Fnog, her old sensei.
Well, the best part about Raging Bender is Bender and Leela. Well, that's great. But I was going to say, Bender and Leela's chemistry in that episode is like top notch.
Yes.
Occasionally they'll mix those two characters, and it seems to always work out well.
Absolutely.
Like in the first season, where like Bender's like, Leela says she likes me. She likes my in your face attitude.
Yeah, my 3 sons. That's great.
Yeah. So when they mix those, that's the best part.
Fry trying to like, her and Bender, excuse me, trying to stage a intervention for Fry during Fish for $4, for example.
Oh, that's classic as well. Yeah. No, yeah, those are when they mix those two characters, it often works out.
Yeah. Well, in any case, now 13 minutes and 17 seconds. Now we'll close it here.
Yeah, sweet.